I got here a new box and it's something from Legion, Lenovo Legion. So this is the Lenovo Legion Phone Duel 2. So we can see here it's a really nice box and pretty hefty one. And what we have here is the 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gig of storage, and the color is the Ultimate Black. So let's unbox. So hi guys, it's me Richmond of Gadget Sidekick and welcome back to my channel. So right now we have here the hefty box of Lenovo Legion, and you can see it's really nice. They always do something pretty nice with their boxes. So you can see Legion is here. All we need to do is pull this tab. I mean two tabs, and something nice would happen. And you can see that the box did elevate up. Okay, so it's really something creative. Okay, so you can see that it's Savage inside. Then together here we can pull this one out. It's the phone itself. So yeah, it's pretty something new. And before that, we want to check what's other things inside, and it's stylish outside and Savage inside. So taking this one out, you can see that we have the Type-C to audio jack adapter, meaning that there's no 3.5mm audio jack port. Then we have a nice case, which is a solid one. We have the SIM ejector pin over here, together with some quick start guide. Pulling the other box out, it's definitely the chargers, the cables, and yeah, I'm right. There's two cables over here, two USB Type-C to Type-C cables. Then on the other side, we definitely have our big brick here. So there's nothing more inside the box, and let's go ahead and talk about the phone itself. So as always, doing what we love to do is definitely to peel this one off. And yeah, I love this one. The color is really nice. So it's the Ultimate Black color. So you can see at the back, it's pretty shiny. Definitely a fingerprint magnet. So you can see there's a fan over here. There's LED lights over here. The camera module is over here. And on here, on the right side, we have the power button. Then together with some shoulder triggers over here. And did you know that there's quite a number of triggers over here? There's one trigger here, another trigger over here, one trigger here, and another trigger over here. And there's two more triggers at the back, which makes gaming more realistic and more triggers for you to, more physical triggers for you to use. Now, this phone is a little bit hefty and a little bit heavy. So underneath we have the USB Type-C port together with the SIM tray. So I believe that the SIM tray is 5G ready. And we have two SIM reversible. Okay, so 2 nano SIM is capable on this one, and definitely it's a 5G capable phone. So right now we're booting up. You can see the Lenovo logo, pretty nice. And taking a look at another side, it's another charging port. This is used for the dock, or you can use two charging ports together. Then you have the volume rocker, and on top, just the noise cancelling mic. And what I love about this phone is that it doesn't have any camera up front. We have a pop-up camera over here, wherein this one would pop up when you activate, of course, the selfie camera. So you can see here, it's the default screen. Whenever you swipe up, you can see the app drawer. Everything's inside here. Dropping down, you can see all of these menus over here, which is very nice and very neat, very organized, I can say, from the Lenovo Legion. So right now, let's walk you through some of the benchmark that I've gathered on this phone. So we have a whopping 827,000 points for Antutu benchmark, which is, of course, as expected, Snapdragon 888. I don't expect something less. Taking a look at iTutu benchmark, it's also scoring 197,000 points, which is, of course, pretty nice. This is a score that I've gathered from 3D Mark, and you can see that wildlife, we can score 5,926 points. Now, this phone has a pretty big screen. It's almost a 7-incher with a 6.92-inch screen size. It's pretty much almost bezel-less. And what I like about it is doesn't have any punch hole on the screen, which of course give me that better experience minus that punch on the middle, punch on the side, or punch whatever it is, unless it's a camera under display. This one has an AMOLED display together with 144 Hz of screen refresh rate, HDR10+, and 1300 nits of brightness at its peak, 1080p display, and of course 388 ppi density. Now, you know, this one is made out of Corning Gorilla Glass 5, definitely giving it a lot more protection, especially against scratches. Now, of course, I want to talk a little bit about watching some movies over here and watching some of my favorite shows on YouTube. Definitely, it's a breeze, and I can say that the display is pretty big, pretty generous with almost 7-inch of screen size. Definitely, I love and enjoyed every single bit of it, especially when you have nice sounds coming on from the sides. And definitely, I can say that I was able to enjoy since the screen brightness is peaking at 1300, and definitely it's a really nice experience. So you can see at the back it's breathing, so we can try to control it inside here. Okay, so inside the Legion realm, we can see some lighting effect. Okay, so let's check some effect. You can make it flow, cycle, breathe, spin if you want. So you can see that this lighting effect will take effect only if you're gaming. Okay, so we'll be putting this one on spin effect. So there you go. So right now, our refresh rate is set at 144 Hz, which is the maximum. Which is, of course, this gonna drain your battery a little bit faster than usual. Okay, so this one will auto switch refresh rate to the highest levels during games, of course, depending on compatibility of your game. Now, let's talk a little bit about the camera on this phone. Now, this camera is something that I wouldn't really belittle. Having dual camera, well, dual camera is kind of of the past. Okay, so it has a 64 MP module over here and a 16 MP ultra wide sensor, and together with a motorized pop-up camera of 44 MP front facing camera. So let's take a look. Okay, again. Okay, so you can see the pop-up camera is reacting fast. So let's try to bump it a little bit. So of course, every single bump it will retract for safety purpose. Now, I did take this phone for a spin outside and took some shots. Of course, it's pandemic here and we're on lockdown, so wasn't able to gather too much shots. But overall, I can say that outdoor shots are decent and some indoor shots are nice. But not all shots here are nice. Some are a little bit grainy, since I don't really expect too much from the camera of this phone. Since it's a gaming phone, it's more concentrated for gaming rather than giving you a good experience on your camera. But of course, I can say it's really decent. Now, taking some selfie shots is also good. And yeah, I cannot complain about it, since it's something really that I don't expect too much from this phone. Now, I did try to go out and use the dual camera mode. So you can see here that it's a little bit jerky, but overall I can say the resolution is nice. The front and the rear camera is nice, but the front camera, you can see that it's having a little bit hard time to adjust to the lighting, especially when it's a little bit dark. It's still very much decent. Right now, guys, let's talk a little bit about the battery of this phone. So I did drain this battery down to 19% and plug both USB Type-C port on this one. So I was able to finish charging in just 30 minutes, and it's pretty fast. I can say that having both USB Type-C port charged together, it kind of give it fast charge. But of course, I can feel that it's a little bit hot over here. And did you know that this phone can take in 65 watts on single port charging and 90 watts on dual port charging? As advertised, you can see that Lenovo promised us to charge it 100% in 30 minutes, which we just did. So this battery is a 5,500 milliampere hours, and yeah, coming in with a 90 watts charger. Of course, you have to use both cable, of course, together. But if single charge, like I said, it's just 65 watts. But 65 watts is still fast enough. So for this ultimate test, we put it to the screen on time test, and yeah, we were able to squeeze out 8 hours and 13 minutes, which is, of course, I don't really expect long-lasting battery from gaming phones since it's really made to game and it does consume a little bit more battery than normal phones. Now, this phone comes in two color. It has Ultimate Black and the Titanium White. Of course, I prefer the Ultimate Black as the better color. So here are the settings that we can have on Call of Duty. So can turn everything to the maximum. So what I like about the Lenovo Legion Phone Duel 2 is that you have 8 triggers. So you have two here, two on the right side, two on the back side, then you have Force 3D Touch here on the screen. So yeah, let's configure it. So L1. So right now, let's just configure. So have L1 here. So and enable R1 here. Okay. So we can also enable L2 and R2. So L2, let's put it to scope. R2, let's put it to something like that. Okay, so we have everything here that you can configure, and it's pretty nice that you can, of course, check how many frames per second. We have 60 FPS, 144 hertz of screen refresh rate right now running on the Call of Duty. So we have turned on our fan, and right now you can see that we have configured a while ago to let it stream. You can see that the light is nice at the back. You can see the gameplay here on the Lenovo Legion Phone Duel 2 for the Call of Duty. It's pretty nice. And you can see that every single gunshot is very accurate. And I can say that all the buttons here on top, and I have yet to get myself used to the button near the camera, the M1 and the M2, but I was able to freely use the L1, L2, R1, R2 to my to the full extent. And yes, I was able to enjoy it, especially it has haptic sounds, two linear speakers down here, and it's really nice. I was able to feel the game, and of course, playing the Call of Duty, it has very minimal frame drops and of course lags, and was able to set every single setting to the maximum. Now, I was able to play for roughly an hour non-stop, and I can say that the cooling system at the back is pretty nice. It's not really that warm since the fan was able to take care dispersing all the heat from the back. Now, I can say that playing games on the Lenovo Phone Duel 2 is definitely something nice and probably one of the best that I've played so far for in any gaming phone that I've played here on my channel. So guys, what do you guys think about this phone, the Lenovo Legion Duel 2? I believe that it's a really nice phone, and trust me, it's just a little bit heavy. It can go head to head, toe to toe with those other brands such as the Asus RG and of course the Black Shark and other big names in the gaming industry. Now, if you ask me, I was able to enjoy and unlock all the settings on Call of Duty and other games. Was able to really squeeze every single juice out from this phone. Now, the 8 triggers is definitely the best part of this phone. Having to use and maximize all those triggers definitely gives you the edge when it comes to gaming. Now, I would also prefer a physical button, but of course, having 8 physical buttons on a smartphone really will make it so ugly. So yeah, this touch-sensitive buttons will of course do the job. Now, if you want to know where I bought this phone, I'll post it on the link below. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, click that bell icon so you don't miss any future videos here from my channel. So I'm Richmond, and you're watching Gadget Sidekick. What up?